is Troublesome Times. Unscripted, unedited, all done in one take. Because it's so easy, right? Since everyone else has a podcast, I might as well have one too. Oh my god. I love my dog, nicknamed Courage, who I would have named Courage if she was a boy. I love my dog Courage. Love her. But I actually had this recorded already, and there was an emergency that involved her. And then things got a little too heated, and I have to do it all over again. So if you haven't done this yet, don't forget to pet your pet. Oh man, I was doing that other day because Courage, for some reason, on light colored couches, she likes to pretend she's a chameleon. So it's very fun. It's to find my Courage. It's like playing the real life Where's Waldo kind of thing. And so something I forgot to include in the super ass long original podcast, which I may or may never release. I don't know. It might end up becoming like audio for something else eventually, right? So I think if you ever interact with me, because I'm actually on the I'm on this live stream, like watching on a regular basis, ever encounter me, I did feature her in one of my videos, specifically boring. Yeah, so I'm in there on a regular basis, and I think people are starting to wonder how many animals come to my house a lot. It is a lot. Like, I wish I could say that it was an exaggeration, but no, I really do have a cat that comes to my yard on a regular basis. I ended up naming her Muriel. She comes at me, and she actually does, like, want pets too. So she ends up becoming another pet of mine. I don't feed these animals. I really do have squirrels that come to my house every morning. I really do have legless lizards jumping around, regular lizards on my windows. I really do have iguanas coming to the yard, just chilling, and they're bored. I really had a possum show up and a raccoon. The possum used to come by, and then the baby possums, like, they are. I get scared when the dogs are around the possum, when Courage is around the possum, because if it's a baby possum, then the mom's gonna come and it's gonna be like very brutal and nasty. So if you're ever around a baby, be very careful, because there's a good chance the mom is there, and when the moms get very nasty. And then what else? Yeah, and I really do have doves that show up too. They show up every morning and they start cooing. I'm surprised nobody hasn't heard them yet in these recordings. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, it does feel like in the house in the middle of nowhere. It really does feel like being a Disney princess in a way, because all these animals randomly show up. Now I'm wondering if the cat ended up having kittens, because now there's been more of them. And now I've been seeing another cat that looks like the first cat, only that one doesn't have a white fur pattern at all. And then now there's been a black cat that's been showing up almost every night now. And I don't know what it is. I also used to have the dog that lived next door to me show up to my house all the time too. And I felt really bad. And the dog I'd have the dog stay with me because I didn't want anything to happen to the dog. And that's another thing. If you ever go to my neighborhood, because I know people have tried, people drive really bad here. So be very careful. So this is sort of relevant to what I'm going to say, because the other day I was going out somewhere for the night, and as I was backing up, the black cat was running. Like, as soon as the tire was about to hit, it was running and at my feet. And so I start to scold the cat. I'm basically going, "Excuse you!" And I was about to, like, say something like, "Oh, you keep running like that, you're gonna get hit one day. You better not do that." And then the pedestrian, as soon as I said, "Excuse you, what do you think you're doing?" And the pedestrian was, like, passing by. He's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do it." Like, I freaked him out. I'm like, I felt bad. I'm like, "Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I've basically said along the lines of, I'm sorry. I thought there's been a cat here. I'm trying to be careful." So, yeah, I'm one of those people where, like, I mean, it's with animals, it's like kind of, you gotta be, like, pretty firm about that stuff. So, The other, like, literally just recently too, Courage is she. If you really know your pet enough, you eventually start to know what they're like, and so I understand how Courage is based on how she sounds and moves and all that. So it's like, oh, what did you do? What did you do to the dog? I'm like, no, that's she's trying to, she wants your food. Don't engage that. She's basically saying, I want food. Give me the food. That kind of thing. And then, oh, and what's the other one? The other noise, like, oh, she wants to be petted. Pat me. If you ever have a dog, you'll know exactly what I mean. And no, I don't scream at my dogs, okay? Don't start spreading that stuff now. I do not scream at my animals. You don't do that. Never do that. Okay, this is a great start. Again. So secrets. I basically said everything I had to say before. But okay, no big deal. No big deal. This happens for a reason. So I okay, so secrets, I will say that it was basically, it's hard being a female in a male dominated world. And then one of the things I found was that a lot of the songs that are men professing their love for men or whatever, it's often very it's not subtle, it's very crude, and it's juvenile. And I'm thinking, what if I could do something like that? What if I can be a woman, an adult that acts like an adult in an adult situation? And another thing is that the consent is pretty ambiguous, so you don't really know. And so I'm thinking, what if I can make this like, like actually like okay? So it's like, but only at your most comfort. My advice to you, if you ever like try to form a budding relationship, always make sure that you're on the same page. And it's okay if you change your mind, and if people don't like that, then you gotta go. Yep, bye. See, like me, I'd be that person that I am that person where I will pretty much, like, I'm not one of those. I'll be that person that's like, is everything okay? Do you want to do this? And then they, more often than not, they get excited, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I really don't like when, this is another thing. We gotta like be there for each other, guys. Like, I really don't like that a lot of them are like, oh well, I did this better. I'm better because I'm, that's the thing. This is the thing about a lot of these songs, because I know I had to say this the other day. So I said, well, that's the problem. Like, then these kind of songs actually tell a woman what kind of woman they should be. Oh, you don't want to do it? You're a prude. Oh, you do that? You must be a hoe. And it's like, why can't we just be however we want? Why does everything we do have to revolve around men? It's not about you. I want to do what I want. I'll do whatever I want. And then what about the ones that are gay? Then what's the whole point? Then there's something completely wrong. Fuck that shit. I do not believe that you can be one or that. You always are, and there's nothing you can do to change. That's why I really, really hate when the P words, they exploit these young people and then hold their safety over their head for them to stay in a very, very toxic relationship. Nobody deserves that. I absolutely hate when they also leave, they find a replacement, or they bluff that they have an upgrade of a replacement, and then they basically baited them into joining a spectacle and fight with this so-called thing and argue, and then they eat it up, and they're motivated by lust and greed. I absolutely think that is completely wrong, no matter what. If it's okay, bad for women, it's bad for everyone else too. I am just gonna make that hot take out there. It absolutely disgusts me that, this sort of justice is not done because of the anti rhetoric that is spread around. And I like wish I could do something to change that. And maybe I just have to like be like what the wannabes want to be and try to spread community for justice. And that's wow, that's a little different than what I imagined. So now that comes some, I mean, hey, I guess the Paul brothers are definitely better than the so-called actual dangerous people, right? Oh, well, I am so against animal harmers, but I'm going to talk about one and show content by them and make money off of them because that I just want to do the right thing. I want to do it right. But but yeah, Logan Paul's worse because he couldn't he ended up selling it away to a place where it's not like they can find children, right? I mean, whatever, right? So, I guess background, I didn't know about them for a while. I mean, Logan is the same age as me, and Jake, they is the younger brother. They got popular on Vine around the same time. YouTube had Vine compilations. They weren't the biggest as they were yet, and I did not like a lot of the stuff that they did, but on also they, that's the past. They were young. We all do dumb stuff in the past, and I'm thinking, I figured, yeah, at first I wasn't entirely sure, but I think now, it's actually very hard finding people my age on this kind of thing as an online figure. Let alone, let alone as a stuff we have in common, right? It's kind of funny because I know people are surprised, the younger ones I'm around, they're surprised that they're surprised that I do know of Logan Paul and all that stuff, and we're the same age and stuff. And I will say that in a lot of ways, it's like, yeah, they were surprised that we are similar, and it's really because we're the same age. We grew up around the same stuff, so I guess doesn't surprise me. And of course, the biggest thing, although I do think he's more extreme than I am about this one, he does a lot of strange stuff for excitement, right? Hold on a minute. Oh, this hasn't been a good day for me. Seems like even though I'm in the middle of nowhere, the house in the middle of nowhere, everything has like been kind of hectic today. Man, after this, I just wanna enjoy myself. So it's kind of like the at least I know for sure someone's around me. I mean, I will still be kind of fair on like some people that are getting sued because they didn't cross their T's and dot their I's, right? And it's also not like I just suddenly hated it because I am aware of my own tastes and how that may cloud my judgment as a drink, right? It's so, but again, it's not like I really just try to talk about people that are popular just to gain money and views and exposure and clout, right? So at least I know I can look back on these and know that I age. And I'm kind of glad that because I don't want to say for certain, but I will say that I am kind of glad that it seems like he has taken things very well. So I appreciate that. So okay. Uh yeah, I had more fire in the original one. So anyway, so now another big project I'm going to work on is called Forbidden. So it's about an online influencer reacting to the latest Ryan Gosling movie, reacting to it. Then her former companion finds her, sits next to her, blackmails her into staying together, sitting alongside each other for the movie, and threatens her safety if she ever leaves. And I know I've had to explain this plot already, and so I'm going to confirm that it was originally a horror thriller ASMR kind of thing. It's an hour long. I only have one side of the conversation. I'm still finding it, Jason, whatever. But whenever I told this to people, people are very interested in this concept. It's one thing to see horror in the movies, but not at the movies. Haha. So, yeah, I already started my own little prequel kind of thing already. It's called Sensation. And basically, this will cover the incident that made Marie cut ties off with Jason for good. So, one of the things I am excited is that I found out that Ryan Gosling actually was in a movie that's similar to my concept. And I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. I wonder if this can help me develop the Jason Monroe character. Because people are kind of still curious. They're not entirely sure what Jason Monroe is really like. So I know I mean, Sensation still has a lot of things to work on, but this actually does help me figure out how what I gotta do, and I want this to be good. So anyway, so I am pretty excited. So Forbidden is going to be starting like off as like a little short story kind of thing for now. So it's going to be I'm excited. I have to push some projects aside, but I think this is going to be worth it. It's a idea. Oh, this is going to be fun. But I wonder if I can still do the Marie thing right now. I just wanted us to be happy, but not everything is like the movies that we like. Oh, you poor thing. So it's and there's two more things I'm gonna discuss. It turns out I'm gonna maybe have to add some characters. So journalist me is going to be now a Forbidden's character, and one more character too, because he got mentioned in Checkmate with a Smile. So Eddie Ablorido, you are now a Forbidden's character, and there are going to be more, I'm sure, because we need people to fill up the theater. So maybe the other yellow hats, or yellow hats disguised, or the people disguised as yellow hats, may be part of the Forbidden's thing soon. And it's going to be interesting because you're kind of wondering. People have asked about the ending. I don't want to spoil it too much. But don't worry, they're all alive. and but I really hope you guys do enjoy it. Please, if you ever take the time, the chance to listen to Forbidden, you can reach out to me. Let me know what you want, what you're asking. I will do everything I can to make this a thing. So, I was kind of wondering, why did I do it? Well, again, I guess I will say, I thought, based on what happened, I'm thinking, well, I'm glad I'm safe and whatever, but what if it was true? And how worse can this have happened to me? And what are the things that people would have wanted to say if they ever had the chance to confront and basically get their closure? So, and I really like that people do like Marie Kennedy a lot. Yeah, so it seems like she really shines a lot in that. I know that Jason still has a lot of mystery to him, but I hope that whatever you see him as, I hope you do like his stuff a lot. So it's been interesting. So all right, let's see how this goes. Oh, but and don't worry. I know I may have added one more character because they want to pretend to be me. I get allegedly. And have seemed to think that they can be like the new me, right? But I am only one me. Even if I am making multiple versions of me, I am one me, and to compare me to somebody that's nothing like me and is actually not very disrespectful, I guess the best way to put it, to their own fans after everything that has occurred. I do not want to be compared to that. I believe that I am at least better than that. I am a lot of things. I can act like a jerk on a bad day. I can say a lot of crazy and do a lot of crazy stuff that offends people and get their feelings hurt, and they still try to get revenge on me after a few like years of this, right? Thinking that they can outsmart me and stuff, right? But the one thing I am never going to be like, I will never ever be that nasty to my own Frosties, my own fans in this context. I will never be like that. I will never do you dirty like that. Okay? Because you guys, you like what I like. You guys like me for a reason. You guys, I inspire you, you inspire me. You I get you, I come for you, whatever it is, whatever feelings you have, even if you don't like me and don't watch me, I occupy your time in a way that's not boring. So yeah, there you go. And so woohoo! This is a lot shorter than the last one for sure. So I will say, anyways, I think it's very interesting. I've had to stop saying and wearing certain things because people are starting to mimic anything I say. I'm getting recognized in that way. And I will say it, I've had some pretty interesting encounters. I'm gonna list two. Dramatic pause. Oh, and have you heard anything earlier? Um Courage is seems to be like playing hide and seek for some reason. I guess with the stray cats that keep showing up in my yard. So, so it's very interesting. Like about I think 2 or 3 years ago, I was in Seattle, Washington, and my travel companions, they're like they got the travel bug. They got bitten by the travel bug big time. They were captured by the sights of Washington because it's the complete opposite of where we're from. So they went to take pictures and everything, post selfies and everything else, right? Right. True. Kind of cringy. Right. I'm still one of the youngest in my family. So then as I'm standing there just at the departures section, this they're still like young, but they're definitely older than me. There were these passengers that came out and they were complaining about the smell. They were saying it in thick accents, but I understand that they were complaining about the smell and it was actually really bad. I still can't describe the smell to this day, like how bad the smell was. I don't even know how that got actually approved with the how bad the smell was. I can't even describe it to you. It was bad. So the thing that struck me is that they got their own bags because usually the Uber drivers were usually helped with the bags, especially with people like that. So I believe I offered to help, and well, I don't know if I ever did it or not. I will be honest about that. I just thought it'd be nice or whatever. So then they leave. Sure. And what's very unusual is that this car stays there. I figured, okay, so someone is waiting on them. And the Uber driver, very funny looking person too. Very unusual looking. Very looks at me like he saw a ghost. I thought at first, I thought it was my imagination at first. But they stood there for a good long time enough that the cars were going around this car, and I just locked eye contact with him. And I'm just wondering the whole time what is else is going to happen. So then I say, "Hey, what's good?" Immediately speeds off in the airport. And then some of you are kind of wondering this thing, why do I not con like, be direct or whatever. And it seems like now with that incident that was completely not my fault. I'm just a traveler enjoying the time, not thinking about anything but, the fact that I might be able to encounter Kurt Cobain's hometown or whatever. I was the answer is it's like whenever I do, they eventually he would just dip, like bail, and then make up an excuse and blame me for it for some reason. So, mhm. So good thing is that I got most of this off of my chest when I did this. So, oh, it got very heated. So I would love to see what would happen. I know for sure that if I ever see if that happens again, I will have to wear a gas mask. But I just love that I now know for certain, knowing everything that happened, that the they're more afraid of me than anything. All for what? I just wanted the truth. I just wanted, like, oh, I'm sorry that I lied and I made everyone else miserable. And I just can't admit a lot of things. I don't know what it is. Maybe he doesn't like, maybe he just hates strong, independent women. What can I say? My old man always said, give men a reason to like you. So I do. Yay! So, and then this one more encounter that was very interesting. I was in New Mexico. My host family got sick, so we ended up not going to Roswell, New York. So we ended up getting pies in this place that really stood out. And when I was waiting for the pies, it was crowded, and this man really stood out. And he was waving. And I looked around thinking maybe he was waving to someone else. Then he waves again. Maybe they're behind me. Nothing happens. He keeps waving at me. And so I'm just wondering what he was doing, what he was waving at. So I get closer, thinking maybe I'm in their way. He nods at me. And so I'm thinking, okay, this is taking a while. I'm bored. I was about to say something. And then eventually the pies were done. And I'm kind of wondering, I think I know who I've encountered both times because this was around Thanksgiving in New Mexico. And it's very interesting what happened. And I'm sure they were interested too in a lot of things. And I will say my reaction is I'm actually very lucky in a lot of ways. I really do think that in like I know some people they don't believe in religion and stuff, but I really do think the reason why I've been so lucky is because, and I think the only reason I had is maybe because God just was there or found ways to make me like make sure. And it was kind of weird to describe because, that time is like I thought I was always wondering like what happened? Like what did I do? Maybe it was a coincidence or not. I don't think they were. But I think it's very interesting that in my how much I've made an impact without knowing it. And I guess it's very interesting, right? Cuz I guess I'll say the one more thing that, it's probably unlikely, but maybe it matters. So, I was in so it's very interesting, right? I often tend to I guess like it's kind of weird why is a lot of things variety. I always try to see like what incites interest in a lot of people in different ways. And so I'm like, okay, maybe if I try to do it like that and then I'll try to figure out whatever, right? So like one of the strangest things, the most interesting ways I discovered like someone on YouTube. It still like stands out to me a lot. And it's very interesting because I know that I've done and said a lot of things and I will say, I was just like, I was kind of a lot of stuff I was hearing about this, like, so that I've known for years at that point, and the things I've heard was like pretty strange to say the least. It was kind of hard to like. I don't think I'd ever want to repeat it, because I think it's kind of strange that would um they would just like box them in one as one thing just because they're supposedly like better looking or whatever. It's just such a strange mess, I know. So I was like, if they heard everything I've been hearing, like it would be so unbelievable. And I will say, at least you heard it from me, a lady, and not like the weird like octagon kind of relationship drama that happened. The reason I still remember it, like this whole like octagon kind of messy drama thing, is because it was a significant event, the significant day. So I just love that people keep like, always trying to guess like what day it is, and it's like, I'm just gonna have fun with it. It's fun. I think that's in a lot of ways you have to pretend to be like different people to write your own characters and be perfect, whatever. So that's how I always took it. And then people always they always get like thrown off by what I do. Even the copycats, like they try to do my methods, and that's pretty cool and all. But I'm thinking, am I getting that? Am I getting stale? Like, what's going on? I should be kind of flattered, right? That these copycats are going around. People can't really tell which one's the copycats or me, I guess. But hey, maybe they're just good or whatever. Maybe I can learn something, a thing of them from too. Do you know that like a lot of copycats, a lot of times, like when you see the OG and then years later, people they find the OG from the actual thing, they're like, "Oh, this is something else. Wow, I can see it, but wow, the copycats are a lot better. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see what the copycats would have done, and I'm gonna see. Oh wait, maybe I wait. They can be like me, but can I be as good as them? Like the multiverses thing. I know there's like the multi-universe thing that a lot of these works are doing now, and but the thing is, they're always done by different writers. So I always thought to myself, wait, I want a multi-version universe version of my characters. Where are they? But then I'm thinking, you know what? Why should I have to wait for someone else to do it? Why don't I try it out myself? So that was part of the inspiration for some of that. It's been kind of fun. Pretend to be three different versions of me in different worlds. And it's been like pretty cool. Anyway, so it's very interesting that now that, to try and get a reaction out of me, they have been like thinking, oh, well, if I just hit up this person, that Jack Wonderland Frost seems to be like, like suddenly like trying to like showcase for no fucking reason. Because what's so great about that, huh? What do they have that I don't? What does he have that I don't, huh? Oh, I love that moment. I just love the whole time that, there was like this, like secret recording of me. And one of the things I definitely remember for sure that nobody will ever say, and only I would know. Oh, what does he have that I don't, huh? Basically. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I love that a lot of the times, like, these people, see, I'm all about, like, I'm pretty, I'm a very, I believe in privacy. One of those, definitely someone that's like, you can be completely yourself around me, no matter how weird it gets, because no matter what happens, I'm gonna keep that part of you, like, between us. Okay? Like a lot of the stuff that people have thrown themselves at me, and they get kind of interesting to say the least. So it's like, it's funny because they try to get a reaction out of me for my attention or whatever, right? Wandering eye and stuff. And so but if I ever shown my side, you guys would have known that every single one of those people have thrown themselves at me. And always. It's like, what they always ask about. What does he have that I don't? Huh? Hmm? Hmm? That's a very good question. Aw. Oh no. Don't mind that. That's just how Courage is when she's dreaming. Please don't get scared. She's fine. Anyway. Uh That's why I don't try to that's why I don't try to do it too long. But don't worry, it's almost over. But I will say it's very interesting that here's the thing. You guys may want to taste, but I got the first bite. And if you know as well about food and cooking as I do, then you'd know that it's the best you'll ever get. And that is something I'm going to say right now. You guys may have a taste, but you'll always have my sloppy seconds. Well, this has been great. I better end this soon because so I don't interrupt her nap, doggy's nap. If you haven't done this yet, don't forget to pet your pet. And if you need this podcast to clean and shower, please do it for your own sake. And then now it's about time, right? It's been so easy, right? Anyone else has done a podcast? Then I just did it again. So anyway, stay safe until we meet again.